Now we can tap the kingpin seals in. These just go in flush. I'll spare you from having to watch me stand on my head and put the bottom one in. Now we can put the drive shaft back in. Make sure when you put new seals in or new bushings and seals that you want to lubricate the lips of those seals. They'll live longer. Now we got to get the spline to line up. Yep, there it went. There's the drive shaft. Now we can clean the steering knuckle up, and there's a bushing and a seal in there that needs replaced. So I'll clean this up and set that up, and we'll go see how wrong that can go. Well, this is the setup. I got a socket down in here that's the right size to push the bushing out, and I had to put a little spacer in here to get it started. And then once we get it pushed that far, maybe that'll go in there. I don't know. Let's start squishing on it and see what happens. Got the bushing pressed out. I think you guys got bad luck or something. It's just about the time something cool happens. Every time the camera battery dies or light goes out, or it must be your guys' bad luck. But anyway, the old bushing come out, and we've got this set up to go in with the new bushing. And the book calls for some Loctite type stuff, so we're going to put that on the bushing, put the bushing in there, tap on it a little. This fits just about right to squish it in, and then we'll fire up the press and squish it together. Yeah, the hard part of putting any bushing or seal or anything in is getting started straight. If you're going to use a press, usually they go together enough to start with to get started straight, but not always. I think that's straight enough to press in there though, without wrecking the bushing. Sometimes it's nice to use a hammer and a punch to put stuff like this together, or just keep hammering it like I was, because that vibrates what you're pushing together, and that makes it fit a little better. I'm going to reach across here, and there we go. It went in. If you want to take a look. There we go. Looks flush to me. Now we'll put the seal in there. That's straight to go back on the axle. So remember a little bit ago when I said you should grease the lips of your seals? They'll last longer. This came from the international dealer, sealed in a package already with grease on it. So see, it's important. Let's see if we can get it in without wrecking it. Once again, I'm just going to use a socket for a seal driver. Just checking, you want these to go straight. If they don't go straight, they get wedged, and then you bend them, and then they don't work as an oil seal. Which is what this one acts like it's trying to do. Yep, that's what it's doing. So I'm going to get in here with a punch after I go look for one, try and straighten it out. When I said I was going to go look for a punch, I meant I was just going to use this extension because I'm lazy. I think that straightened it out. I guess. Good enough. All right, we got the seats for the kingpins greased up. We got the seals for the kingpins greased up. We'll get this on here and cinch down, and then we'll check the turning resistance and make sure we don't have to mess with shims to get the preload on those kingpins right. Down some more. Trying to get this to where it'll just set on there and get that bottom kingpin in. There we go. Maybe. Well, I think it went in there enough that we can start the bolts. One bolt started. Two bolts started. There, now we can probably take the chain off and get the top one to go in. I hope. That's a little weird. Oh, we're caught on the drive shaft. Have to flop it back over and hook the drive shaft in there where it goes. There we go. That's better. Stay. Oh yeah, look at that. I suppose we should tap those in with a hammer and tighten them, and then we'll check the resistance of this hub, like I showed you with the fish scale in the first video, and we'll make sure those kingpins are running tight enough. Or loose enough? I don't know. I'm just going to snug these up, slowly and evenly. Make sure we're not bound up. Not really. I can look in here and kind of feel, and the drive shaft's not interfering with it. So this feels on the loose side. We'll get the scale out and we'll verify that. But that might have been what caused these seals to leak in the first place. And this kingpin to wear out was not enough tension on them, so this could flop around with the weight of all this on it. And that's probably what wrecked that top kingpin. So I'll get the scale and we'll check it. So I was wrong. On the way you checked the rolling resistance of that steering knuckle. I thought it was going to be the fish scale method, but it's the get on a bolt with a torque wrench and turn it and see what you got. And it should take somewhere between 25 and 55 foot-pounds of torque to turn this. And I've basically got 0. It's way too free running. So I guess I'm going to pop this top cap off and pull the smallest shim out and see what we got after I put it back together without the smallest, or narrowest, or skinniest shim. Got two choices here. One's slightly thicker and one's pretty darn thin. I guess we'll pull the pretty thin one out of there. See what we got. Again, I'm going to seat this just a little with the hammer. Or just zip it down there, because that seems to be what it wants. Double check the torque on the bottom. But it's still basically just freewheel. So we'll pull the other shim out. And then probably the bottom. And then probably the bottom shim too. That's still loose. I guess we'll pull the bottom one out. Maybe. Well, there's the shim out of the bottom one. Oh, that got her. Yikes. Well, now we might be putting the shim back in. Well, that's too tight. So I'll pop the top cap off one more time. I don't know. What do you think? Put the shim thin one in? I don't know. It's always like this. That feels like a thick one. That feels like, there we go. There's that thin one. What do we got? Hey, that's squeaky for some reason. But it's snug. It's worth a try. I bet it's close. Let's see what we got. And now it's too loose. But no. Yeah, it is actually slightly loose. We're at the bare minimum. I guess that's what we got, so that's what we'll take.
Maybe just jump to the. Oh